Lori Chavez-Deremer, businesswoman, former mayor of Happy Valley, and now the Republican candidate for the newly redrawn 5th Congressional District in Oregon. She is running against Democrat Jamie McLeod-Skinner of Central Oregon in a district that runs from Portland to Bend and leans slightly Democratic. The polls say this race is close, with the balance of power in the U.S. House on the line. Lori Chavez-Deremer, welcome back to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks for having me today.
Well, the economy, of course, is one of your major issues. What did you think of President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act?
Well, I think we can call it whatever we want, but I'm not sure it's reducing inflation. And you can tell that on the ground as we go throughout this campaign. We're hearing it every single day. The stories about gas prices being up over $100 a tank full, trying to get to work. I talked to a young woman the other day who was trying to decide to fill up her full tank, or, she said she was trying to reduce her meals, choices, 1 or 2 meals a day. And I thought, we've got a real problem on our hands. So while we can put labels on just about anything, I'm not sure that people are feeling that the inflation is going down. 40-year high. It's hard to take our eyes off of that.
What would you have liked to see different in that legislation?
Well, what I'd like to see is, we can't deny that when we spend trillions of dollars and put that into the economy, that's going to lower the cost of goods and services. And again, coming off of COVID and the supply chain, it's just one more nail into the coffin, it seems like, about businesses trying to survive, families trying to put food on their table for their families. Schools are back in, parents are shopping for their kids, back to school clothes. Everything is up, and we're noticing it every single day. I'd like to incentivize businesses to get back on the ground and open up their doors and have, more of the free market than trillions of government spending that is going to consistently raise prices on goods and services to hardworking families.
You've gotten endorsements from high-profile conservatives, including Elise Stefanik of New York, the House Republican Conference chair. Why do you believe that a conservative can win the 5th District?
Well, the values of being a conservative don't always just resonate with one party. When we're thinking about faith, family, freedom, goods and services, small business owners, as mayor for a very long time, my goal was to keep public safe, have a vibrant economy, support our small businesses, make sure our kids had a good opportunity in education. And I think somebody like Elise Stefanik, who's a mom who is serving New York, is recognizing that these values go across every state, and they're looking for a woman's voice. And so she endorsed early on in this campaign, recognizing that we can elect more women. We make decisions in our homes about our family values, as I mentioned. We make decisions in our homes about, cost of goods to our families, keeping them safe. A mother will pay attention to her kids' safety, and that's what we need to fight and focus on. So these endorsements came easy for them to recognize that we can get this done with those conservative values and get back on track in this country.
There's been a lot of talk lately about the effects of Measure 110, which decriminalized hard drugs and put money into treatment programs. But our street drug problem appears to be getting worse. Did voters make a mistake here, and how would you change things?
There's been a lot of conversation. The issue is the transparency. You cannot deny what we see on the streets every single day, and it's coming out to every community. To see our fellow Americans die on the streets isn't something that I would imagine Oregonians or Americans want to see. These are our community members that we're supposed to help. And Measure 110 decriminalized those hard drugs, but what we're seeing is the criminal activity that goes along with it. And there's a few ways to address it. While we cannot have no transparency in releasing the funds to help these people, which I believe just happened 2 years after this measure was passed, I think that was faulty on that one-party rule. The Democratic rule is not helping the state. We have to make sure we close that southern border at a federal level for security reasons. We're seeing the fentanyl crisis happen in our streets, and Oregon now is ripe for that market to kill our kids. And again, as a mayor, as a mom, as a business owner, this is doing no good for anybody. So the catch and release, the bail reform, all of that needs to be addressed. And I'll tell you, I think Oregonians have had enough, and they want to see change despite what party they're from.
Along those lines, Portland's still having a hard time dealing with our homeless problem, and the rest of the state wrestling with it as well, including in your district. Can anything be done at the congressional level to get our hands around this?
Well, we need to have that compassion and think about what is it that we want in our states, and we can talk about funding, and we can make sure that we can address this. You know, the homeless crisis is also a housing shortage. We're seeing that throughout. We need to make sure that we address the mental health crisis that we're seeing. My husband and I. We own and operate some mental health clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, specifically in this district, where we're seeing this often, where these patients need help, and we have to make sure that we can address the mental health crisis that we are seeing and the drug addiction crisis that lends itself to this homelessness. We're at our wits' end here, and again, the one-party rule with no action and no voice, we can't do that. And how do we help that as well? Public safety. We have to make sure. I see our kids are walking to school now. They can't walk in the streets. We can see the disabled community has a lawsuit against the city of Portland. They can't get by the use of those sidewalks because of the tents and the homelessness. So it's something we have to address and identify, and we have to work hard, and we have to really talk about this hard issue.
Your opponent paints you as a wealthy MAGA Republican who supports former President Trump. What do you think of that characterization, and what's your opinion on the legal issues that the former president finds himself in now?
Well, we can talk to, when you see everything just through an extreme lens, I will tell you this. I've pretty much been in touch with my entire life of 54 years. My great-grandmother didn't speak English. My grandmother had a 6th grade education. My father was a Teamster union worker who worked hard. My mom just retired at 76 years old. I will tell you, my husband and I met in high school. We've worked our way through the American dream, raised 2 beautiful girls. And I would say I've touched everything along the way and can really be on the ground and talking to everyday Oregonians and everyday Americans. We have to have hope in this country. And if we're going to realize the American dream, we don't want to push people to that and then knock them off. So, I call that nonsense. I don't answer to it because I've worked hard, and I'm not going to apologize for that. And I want to make sure that I can continue the work as I've done as mayor and now as the congresswoman to elevate small businesses, elevate every community, that the American dream can be reached. And I want to be the leader of that.
A little more than a minute left in this conversation. I want to talk to you about the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. Women from Idaho started coming to Eastern Oregon to get abortions. Should the state of Oregon provide abortion services and financial support for those out-of-state women?
So in Oregon, codified in law is the protection of abortion services. I will tell you the extreme view on Oregon's law of, abortion on demand, abortion to the very last day, and even the conversation of partial birth abortions paid for by taxpayer dollars is an extreme. It's out of the mainstream that most Oregonians want. And now we have this extra issue. So codified in law in Oregon is a protection that's protected. But, taxpayer dollars paying for those extreme abortions at the very last day, I think is a real issue.
Lori Chavez-Deremer, thanks for joining me again on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thanks, Ken.